So those are the things that can kind of shift the cost upwards or downwards.
Now, one of the questions I'm sure you get asked a lot, or a lot of your clients ask you about, is kind of comes around like cost, and then maybe biggest, or just in general for attorneys in general, cost is always like a big factor because attorneys in general aren't cheap. So how does like someone get an idea of like what it would cost? I know it's like very hard with that because every case is unique. But if someone is trying to figure out how much it's going to cost, how do they like go about, like what are factors that might make it cost more or less, or how do they determine like what the cost of like an estate plan might be?
Yeah, so generally speaking, estate planners work off of flat fees. You don't often find that they do hourly work unless it's some unique situation. Usually they'll quote you a flat fee, and what flat fee they quote you is going to be based on what type of plan you want. So if you want a will-based estate plan, that's going to be a pretty bare bones package, and it's going to be on the lower side. A will-based estate plan is usually going to include wills. It's going to include medical power of attorney, durable power of attorney, HIPAA release, declaration of guardian, appointment of guardian for children, the living will. That's kind of your standard package. Those are all documents that should be a part of any estate plan. If you want something like a trust-based estate plan, that's probably going to cost you a little bit more. And then if you need to do any additional planning, let's say you need to do some asset protection, like you have significant real estate holdings, you might want to set up an LLC, or if you have a bunch of real estate, you might want to consider a series LLC. So those are the things that can kind of shift the cost upwards or downwards. Generally speaking, you'll find that a trust-based estate plan is going to cost more. Certainly if it's for a husband and wife together, that's going to cost more than an individual. But that's generally how it works.
So generally, like, it's not an hourly thing when it comes to costs. It's like you kind of tell them, here's like all my assets, from my real estate assets to bank accounts to any other things or any other unusual scenarios, and then they decide, okay, here's like here's the flat rate of what it's going to cost generally.
Yeah, generally speaking. And when I have a consultation with clients, I have them fill out a questionnaire beforehand that gives me all the basic background facts that I need as far as who they have in their family, what their concerns are there any beneficiaries with particular health problems or special needs or issues with drugs or alcohol. Is it a blended family? All the things that I need to know about. And then I'll walk them through the 101 of estate planning. We'll talk about the different types of plans, and they can choose which kind of plan they'd like to go with.